Hi, everybody. Welcome to EduTALK and Happy New Year to everybody. We're starting off 2026, and this is a wonderful time, a wonderful year for us to make some changes or renew our strength, renew our spirits, and get lively in terms of our social activism, our social active network that you're a part of, but also learn to take care of ourselves and our families. We need to build community, seriously. This year really caused us to start looking at community and family in a different light because of the disconnect that we have right across the globe. We realize that we're becoming more and more separated by our differences. And we thought that differences actually were very good because each person, through their differences, brings something else to the table and we can share. For example, you wouldn't expect to get a nice meal if you have only one kind of ingredient. It wouldn't make any sense. So you need a lot of ingredients in the pot to make sure that everything tastes good. In the same breath, and we can go on and on about it, we have cultures, we have people, and we do have differences and similarities, but we really have to come together to find some similarities among the differences and to see how differences, which is diversity, can help us create that nice food, the diversity. So, welcome and Happy New Year to everybody. And we have, speaking of family, we have on EduTalk this week Miss Juliana Dyce, and she's a student in 7th grade in Florida. And more importantly, she is my daughter. And I'm very happy to have her by my side to start off the new year on EduTalk. So we're going to talk about some serious business here to help young people grapple with some of the differences and some of the challenges that they have, especially in school. Welcome to EduTalk again, Juliana. It's good to have you. We have had you for about 3 years ago, and you showed up well. So welcome and wish everybody Happy New Year, please.
Hello, Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to start this new year. It feels weird to be back.
Yeah,
And
it's very weird, especially staring into a camera. You don't see anybody except yourself and me on here. And knowing that quite a lot of people will view you and see, you talking to them about some things that really matter, especially young people. What are you looking forward to this year, 2026? Is there any, I don't really like to call it resolution. I like to call it renewal. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to this year?
for me, I truly want to evolve in my talents, and I really want to become better. And I feel like last year I kept on saying that, and I did become a little bit better. But this year I want to actually take it seriously and actually become better.
What is it that you want to become better in? Is it languages or music and dance or academics? What are you referring to?
It's kind of all of those because I want to become better in my languages, but I feel like that will just come naturally as life goes on. And then for dance, I feel like I improved a lot and I want to keep the same momentum and I want to keep improving and improving. Um, yeah. And
Okay.
then in academics, I think I am doing better than last year,
Mm-hmm.
considering that I have gone into a whole new grade and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You have matriculated to the next grade level and doing very well. So let's talk about your social endeavors with friends and so on. Well, what are some of the things you notice among young people in your surrounding in terms of are they focused on schoolwork? Are they focused while they're in school? Do they talk about schoolwork outside of school? What do they talk about in general? To even plan about some things that they want to get accomplished. What are they? How are they seeing their lives and their talents and their abilities developed in their school life and social life. But socially, how are they doing? What do you see among them that is a pattern that you can say this is a pattern that is among young people around me?
I think many people are less interested in school.
Mm-hmm.
And like I do understand that a little bit because it's hard to stay focused on, schoolwork and stuff. But I feel like recently with technology and things, it makes it harder to stay focused and harder to study and everything. And even though I know that technology was created to make things easier for us and everything, it seems to not be doing that job very well. Um, Outside of school, a lot of people do not talk about school, and I feel like people know that. So, hmm,
Oh, wow. Okay. So, what are in general, what do they normally talk about? Do they talk about games? Do they talk about family? Do they talk about their other friends in their neighborhoods where they're coming from? What are some of the things in general? You don't have to be specific.
sometimes I do think people talk about their family and things, and they do talk a lot about like games or the newest trends or something, because I agree that it's a little bit more interesting to talk about, like, oh, he is doing this and she's doing this, or they are, doing things together. Like, I do agree that it is more interesting to talk about something like that rather than, George Washington or something.
Mm-hmm.
But we really need to focus a little bit more.
Yeah.
And,
So
you
you're
know,
thinking that they're off the rail with not being focused?
I think so, quite a bit.
Uh, Like if you should put it on a scale of 1 to 10, five being the middle ground, how far are they off task or not focused in school?
Maybe like 5.5, 6.
Oh, so it's about 50%,
Yeah.
60% not focused. That's a lot, because
Hmm.
you're supposed to get closer to the 100. Sometimes you might go off the rails, so to speak, but that's the purpose of it. I want to talk to you about something pertaining to school and learning, because when I was young, like you, and going to school, I never really liked school so much, but I love learning. And because I love learning, I stayed in school. And I love my friends because we played football, which is soccer, and played cricket, you know. And because of those things, especially cricket and football and soccer, I stayed there and I was very good at completing assignments and paying attention in class and so on. Because you had to. Growing up in Jamaica, you had to pay attention in school, in class. So I didn't really like school work so much, but I love the learning part of it. Learning. Do you think the people around you, including yourself too, how do you compare education in school and learning in general?
I think learning in general is a bit too broad to explain in our world, because learning in just our world, it seems to be more of experience instead of sitting down and studying. While in school, we sit down with a textbook or we sit down with somebody telling us information. While when we're learning in just the world, we tend to be a little bit more off task, and it's harder to focus without somebody being right in your face saying, hey, 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 focus, focus. I'm telling you this. But I feel like in the real world, it's easier to benefit because for me personally, experience, I learn better with experience. I learn better hands on
Mm-hmm.
instead of sitting down with a textbook and reading something. So for me, I personally think that in real life, just experiencing things and going through life will teach some baseline. But also, I do agree that, school is very important, especially because there's only so much that you can learn just being out in the world, and you do need some more
More
context.
structure. You need
Yeah.
structure and context. So, do you think that you will learn everything in school, or you have to do some things on your own, or majority of the things that they introduce to you in school, you'd have to go out there and try to figure out a little bit more on your own. What do you think?
I think you do have to figure out a little bit more on your own because you do have to practice the things that they tell you in school. So, like reading skills and math skills, you will have to practice and you have to go out and continue to use so that you don't lose the skills that you have just acquired.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I think that being out in the world will help build some more background. And in school, they kind of tell you you're going to do this, but sometimes they never explain why you're going to do it. While being out in the real world, when you're using those things that they have taught you, it teaches you more of a background and why you're doing something.
Mm. So then the teachers really probably need to more a little bit more focus on the why part of it. Like, why
Mhm.
is this necessary? Why are you learning this? Why are you doing this? How will this benefit you in maybe the next minute you walk out of school? Like, you need to count your money. You need to make sure you get the correct change when you go to Walmart to shop, or you go to one of those.
I
Mm-hmm.
know that many students, when teachers tell them new skills and things, they just do it for school and they don't realize how it will benefit them in the long run. And a lot of things that I've learned in school benefit me in the long run. It's just that I never thought that it would.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like if teachers more explain the why, students would try to learn a bit more and try a
Mm-hmm.
bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. So and you're in advanced classes in a school that you're in. There are certain procedures and structure that you need and you put in place so that you will not fall behind in your homework or projects and so on. What are some of the things that you do so that you will not fall behind with the assignments?
well, so first of all, when we are in school, because the preparation for after school starts in school.
Mm-hmm.
Before I leave the class, I just make sure that I have a little basis of, or a little bit of um knowledge on what I'm gonna have to do when I get home. Just so that I can like ask the teacher and be like, "Hey, um, what is this about? How do I do this?" Just so that when I get home, usually the homework is practice based off of what we did in class. So, in order for me to practice what we did in class, I need to know what we did in class.
Mm-hmm.
So then once I get home and I start to do the practice, it's more of just sitting down for just a little bit and just doing whatever you need to do. Because there's never really a procedure that you can really just set forth because of course life does things and sometimes things are unexpected and sometimes just problems occur and you can't really stop them. So you can't really set an exact schedule and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just when you have any free time, just sit down and know what you have to do so that you can just get it done.
And you get it done starting in school. So if you have a little bit of time in school. But what about the mindset? So let's talk a little bit because you do have to have the right mindset to get work done. And it's not just schoolwork, it's to just get stuff done that you need to get done. So, what sort of mindset are you thinking of that people should have, adults and young people as well, that they need to cover what they need to get done at the most appropriate time? What are some of those tools that you're thinking of, or the mindset that they need to have?
I think the mindset that they should have is that doing something now will help you succeed later on. Because a lot of people think, oh, well, this can wait. I don't need to do it right now because, this game is going on right now. But playing a game won't really help you in the long run. While learning more reading skills, learning more history will help you understand the world around you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like the mindset that people should have is that this thing will help me succeed more than this thing. So I should work towards the thing that will help me succeed a bit more than the thing that is just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the fun thing could be a reward for doing something that will help you succeed a little bit more or something that will benefit you.
Well said. So some of the times you do the fun thing when you need a little break from what you're doing, and sometimes you just need to get the work done, and then you have the rest of the time that you can play a game or talk to friends on the phone, or go out and play some pickleball with them sometimes, because you have a little bit more time, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So now, what are some of the ways in which people can interact with others at school so that it's more meaningful? Like, you have certain breaks at school, certain times that you get to socialize with your friends. Yeah, what are some of the steps you can take to make sure that the conversations are meaningful? It's not just, hey, how you doing? And you don't get anything out of it.
I think part of what can make a conversation more meaningful is if sometimes, not all of the time, because all of the time would make conversations a little bit less interesting,
Yeah.
but sometimes just bringing up something about work or helping each other study. I like doing that, just studying with my friends, especially
Mhm.
because it helps build a bit of, oh my gosh, it helps build a better bond sometimes
Yeah.
because when you're just talking just basic things that happen and just saying hey and stuff,
Mhm.
it's a little bit less meaningful than actually doing something and actually doing stuff together to succeed. And I think that it creates a better bond. So, as well as talking about something just more fun, you do need to talk a little bit about informational things and a bit more meaningful things because it will help because you know just having a better bond is better in general, so why
Yeah.
not help each other succeed more and get a better bond? It just
Yeah.
like a win-win situation.
It is, yeah, yeah. And find out what interests people sometimes, and you can just talk about that for a little while, without judgment, say, oh, well, that person loves Roblox maybe, or so on. Let me talk, even though I don't play Roblox or I don't engage in that. I want to find out how do you build things on it and how that can be transferred to becoming an architect or a contractor or something like that, because you could translate those nice um, house plan or building plans into reality, and it can work. Yeah, so that's some of the things that we can do in terms of entertaining conversations and find relationships more meaningful in school. Now, when I was in school too, and as we start off the new year, we talk about things that we like or we dislike, and some things that we don't really want to focus on, continue to doing. So I want to ask you, since as you're going to school every day, except on Saturdays and Sundays, and you're there in the building every single day, there must be some things that you really dislike about school. And some people dislike that about school too. I remember when I was in school, several schools I've gone to, obviously. And I usually some of the times I didn't like the food in the school. And so I had to focus on, okay, I'm there, I'm gonna learn something, and I'm not living here. This is where I might stay for 5 years, but in the end, 5 years will come to an end and I'm gonna leave. So I'm not gonna let that be the center of my attention, even though I don't like the food. I might not like certain personalities in the school. I might not like the principal or some of the teachers that are teaching me. But I said to myself when I was little, I said, you know what? I'm not living here. It might take 3, 4, 5 years, but I'm not gonna be here after that. So I don't like this. but I'm going to not let it be the center of my attention in the school. So, pertaining to that, do you see some things in your school that not in the particular school where you are, but in school in general that you have experience about that it might repeat itself in another school, but you just don't like those things and you have to tolerate it or the burden of tolerating it until you get through?
I think for me, a lot of being social, because I'm a bit more introverted. And so spending like 8 hours in a school surrounded by people in every single class,
Mm-hmm.
it's a bit tiring. So I'm not going to say that I don't like being around people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that sometimes it gets a bit tiring, especially when you're surrounded by people all the time. And most of the time, people want to talk all the time. And talking a lot gets tiring for me. So I think that's something that, it wouldn't hurt to stay, but it seems a bit excessive for me, only because I get tired of it very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't mind going to school like 4 hours per day and then have the other time to do independent work.
Hmm.
So maybe during the pandemic was okay for you to say, okay, I have some asynchronous learning here, and then I have a synchronous one that I will go on and check on whatever, and I say hi to my friends, and then in half an hour you're gonna be gone. Okay, okay, I got you. That's good. So, all right, so we're winding down. So I want to ask you to think of some of the things that you think young people would benefit from. What is one thing or two things that you think they should do less of and more of? And this could be anything at all. It could be family related, social, going, traveling, doing whatever. In this world of ours now, some of the things that they you think that they could engage in order to enjoy their youthfulness before they turn 20.
I think we need to do a little bit more exploring because people take that for granted. I personally love traveling. I
Mm-hmm.
find it very fun, and it teaches you a bit more character, especially when you're stranded in somewhere and you don't know what to do. So it makes it more fun. I kind of like the danger of that because being out there can teach you a lot, while being in school can teach you the certain things that they want you to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Being out in the real world, just learning different things, going out to different places, having new experiences, it teaches you a lot. And I feel like people take that for granted and we don't do it enough.
Right.
Well, something that we should do less is probably gossip because it doesn't really help in the long run. Like I get it, it's fun for right now,
Mm-hmm.
but in general, I think we could survive with a little bit less.
Less gossiping.
Yeah, because it seems not that helpful.
Yeah.
It's great for a little break just to be like, "Oh my God, they did this." But in the long run, maybe we should do a little bit less.
Yeah. And it damages people too. It damage a lot of good relationships as well. Because some people might be coming towards you and you're over here talking about them and you didn't see them. And then they pounce up on you and they say, well, were you talking about me? And you're like, I no. And you're guilty. And they said, well, I'm gonna stop talking to you. And then that lifeline of sharing personalities and sharing resources and so on, it just cut off and you lose that person for life or for a very long time if you don't make amends. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Juliana, for coming on. Really a pleasure to start off the new year with you. I wish you all the best for your studies, and I will see you very, very soon. Have a great year. Wish you all the best. Everyone, thank you so much for being on EduTalk. I wish you all the best for 2026. It's a new year. Go out there, as Juliana said. Go explore, lift a rock, see the little creatures under it, study them, or take up yourself, travel on a plane, take a helicopter, swim somewhere, float around on the ocean, or not just in your backyard in a pool or somewhere. Go find something to do out there. Go on a hike, study some trees and talk to strangers. Walk around and talk to strangers. Become a community, and not just becoming a community, but see if you can form bonds with people this year. We need each other. We do need each other, as you see in our world here. We do need each other. Have a great time. If you need to get in touch with us, write to us at edusolutionsintl@gmail.com. That's edusolutionsintl@gmail.com. Or visit our website. We have a lot of things going on our website at edusolutionsintl.org, edusolutionsintl.org. And we have quite a bit going on there, including our summer camp for young people. You want to check out that coming up in the summer. Registration is live right now. Also with the workshops and everything else. Go on our website and check it out. See you next week with another edition of EduTalk. Walk good, everybody. Bye bye. Take care.